I'm doing a little seed gambling. Normally I don't gamble at all, but in the case of flowers, sometimes I do. And I thought I'd walk you through what I'm doing because it might interest you if it works. So there's my hoop house, and then this field, like this part of the field, I wanted to be wildflower / native. So don't mow the grass and sow a bunch of stuff. So here's my experiment. Back in November, we hired someone to just till this bit really quickly because the ground was so compacted from all the cattle that had been on it for the last 100 years. The previous owners kept cows. And I wanted the grass to start growing up again. But before it started, I sowed a bunch of bachelor buttons, lupine, which by the way is native here, and corn cockle. So here you can see some, like that's a baby lupine, bachelor button, more lupine, and they're kind of they're just all over. I can tell that they're growing. And all of these are very hardy to my area. So if it works, these will reseed and it's gonna be really beautiful. And as long as we don't mow it until after the seeds fall, it will just keep blooming like that every year. So here's what I'm experimenting with. First of all these baby plants that I sowed, I just direct sowed these back in November, or maybe it was October. Anyway, one of those months. They're only this big, but they've gotten 0 protection. We've had several nights that have been below 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and they're still alive and thriving. So they can definitely withstand some cold temperatures. So what I did right before this video was I went and just broadcasted breadseed poppies, which are the big peony poppies, and they make beautiful flowers, but the flowers only last like 2 days. I really grow them for the poppy pods, but I know that those do very, very well direct sown mid-February when it's still pretty cold. But here's what else I'm going to try and do now, and I'm just going to do some of these and I'm going to see what happens. So, and these are all cold hardy, but I'm just not sure how cold hardy some of them are. So some of them I'm sure will work, and some of them I'm not as sure. So these violas, and this is more bachelor button. And then I'm gonna try dianthus. I'm gonna try yarrow. Feverfew I know is gonna work fine. I'm gonna try these really cool snapdragons that I found that actually have like this bronze foliage. These ones don't grow quite as tall as the cutting ones, but I really like that foliage. I'm gonna try a few marigolds because I know those are cold hardy. And then I'm gonna try more lupine, and I'm gonna try foxgloves, which I know the foxgloves will work. So all of those I know direct sow really well, because I've done it before. Some of them I know are gonna do fine and they're gonna bloom and this whole field will look beautiful. Some of them, it's an experiment. We'll see. Like for example, the violas. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe the snapdragons, maybe not. But check back in a couple months and I'll show you if it worked or not. And then in spring, there's a local place and they do a native plant sale every year. So I'm going to prioritize hitting that. My hope is to buy a lot of native plants and then just dig holes through this whole field and just scatter them throughout. So my goal, I would say this is probably, maybe a 1/4 acre, probably a little bit less, is to keep this as just non-harvested, no mowing, let the flowers and the natives do their thing, see what happens.